Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to make this ripple eye effect with the animation nodes in the Blender. So to make this effect, it has basically two steps. In the first step we are going to make this iris object with animation nodes, and then we will animate this iris object also with animation nodes. Then we will apply a simple material and texture to this iris object. In the second step we will align this object with the background image and composite this object onto the background image. So let's get started. So to make this iris object, we need Bezier circles. So we need 4 of them. Then press Shift D to duplicate this. Then again press Shift D and then Shift D. So we have these 4 Bezier circles. So select these 4 circles, then go to spline and add loft spline node. So this node basically take the splines or these Bezier circles and made a mesh object based on these circles. So to add splines we need spline list node. Remove these sockets and add circles from selection option. It automatically add these circles based on their selection order. So connect this to the splines. Now we have vertices, indices, edge indices and polygon indices that we can combine to make a mesh object. Then we can make this mesh to a object output node. So we have this mesh object. If I go to the edit mode, you can see these edges, these spline sample, basically these are the edges, and these subdivisions in between the splines. See, so we have to adjust these circles to create the basic shape for iris. So I'm going to increase the sample amount and then add a subdivision modifier to this mesh object to make it smooth. So now move this inner circle in the negative z direction and this circle in the positive z direction. So we have basic shape for the iris. Yeah, it's look fine. Then I'm going to make shade smooth with shade smooth object smooth node. So we have this. To create ripple effect we need 2 nodes. One is offset vertices, and if I change this fall off, you can see that it is moving these vertices along the z direction, but we want this along the vertices normal. So for that we need mesh info node to get the vertices normals. So here is the vertex normals, and if I add this vertex normal to the offset, change the fall, see it is displacing the object along the normals but in opposite direction, so that we can adjust with vector math node and change this mode to scale and multiply with by -1. So basically we are changing the directions of the normal. So if I change this fall off value, see it's displacing the object in the correct direction. So for compositing we have to limit this fall off only in this region. So to make this fall off 0 at the edges and 1 in between the edges, we need a spline fall off node, because in later when we will composite this object onto the background image, then this edges doesn't align with the background image if we don't limit this fall off. So go to fall off and we need the spline fall off node, and then we need this list node. Remove all the sockets and select the inner Bezier circle and outer Bezier circle. So from selection, then plug this to this spline socket. So now this fall off is 1 near to this Bezier circle and 0 far from the Bezier circle, but we want opposite of this, so that can be fixed with invert fall off node. So now we have this correct fall off value, so we have to multiply this fall off with this fall off. So now you can see that it's not displacing the edges of this object, only the inner region of this mesh object. So you can create a ripple or any effect by controlling this fall off. So I will show you just quickly with this wiggle fall off node. Make this offset 0. Now if I play the animation, you can see creating that ripple effect. Okay, this is one way of creating a ripple effect. You can also use sound to create the ripple effect. So go to fall off, add the sound node. So this sound node is slightly different than the sound node in the 2.79 animation node version. So in the end of this video, I will show you the node tree, this node tree in the 2.79 Blender 2.79. So change this to average and add a sound. Then connect this frame to the frame and this fall off to the fall off. Now if I play the sound, see it is displacing the object. So to create the ripple effect means start from the inner region and go outer edge of this object. We have to decrease this scale, but if we decrease this scale, then the animation time this also increase. So maybe I think 2.5 is fine. Yeah, it is too high. And then maybe 0.1. See, it's creating that ripple effect. I will show you in the 2.79 node tree, which is very fast in case of this average fall off option. So for the time being, we can use this wiggle fall off to see this animation in the real time. Okay, now we have this animated iris object. So now we're going to apply a material to this iris object. So go to shading tab. So select this object and create a new material. Then change this principal shader to emission shader. If you have enabled the node wrangler add-on, and then press Ctrl T, then it automatically add these texture node for you in this image, texture, mapping, and texture coordinates. So we have to add. I downloaded this this iris image from the pexel.com and then tweak little bit in the GIMP. So I'll provide this image with this object and with this blend file. So change this UV to generated. Now we have this texture. So to get rid of this outside dark circle, we have to scale this texture. So, and then also shift this texture along X and Y. So we have this textured iris object. So now the first step is complete. Now we're going to align this iris object with the background image. So press Shift A and go to image, then press reference, and I also downloaded this background image from the pexel.com. So add this image, and first we have to align the camera. So here is the camera. I'm going to align this camera with one of the axes, so that will help us to align this object with the background image. Okay, so also rotate this background image, and I'm going to shift slightly along the y-axis because it is intersecting with this iris object. Then scale this background image so that it fits the camera view, and also I'm going to move it along the Z direction. I think this looks fine, I think. Okay, so select this iris object and then align this object with the background image the best you can. So rotate along x-axis, then scale this down, rotate along z-axis, maybe more z. You can also shift these circles to adjust the alignment of this iris object. I think this is perfect. So now we have to render this. So go to rendering and in the filmic enable the transparent. So now go to render and render the image. So we have this rendered image. So now we going to composite this image on the background in the compositor. So enable the use nodes. Then we need a background image. So select the background image. So to match the scale of this resolution, so we need scale node and change this to render size and this to crop option. So to see whether it is aligned with our object or not, so add a alpha over node, then add this to the second socket in the first socket and this rendered image in the second socket. So it is slightly offset so that we can adjust by using transform node. So here I am using only the compositor tool and this composite this image on the background, but you can also render this background image as a new view layer. Then you don't need to do this step, but I am going to only use this compositor to composite this image, not using view layers. So you can also use this view layer. So first I'm going to shift this along the y-axis. Let's change slightly the factor. Also see the background. I think this is fine. So the background is aligned with this iris object. So now we need this mix RGB node. So plug this to the first socket and this to the second socket and change this mode to the screen. So this mode preserve the highlights of the background and make the dark area of this foreground transparent. So next step is we have to mask this outer edge of this iris object. So add a mask node, then go to rendering, change this view to mask and create a new mask. Then go back to compositing and select this new mask and plug this to the factor input of alpha over node. Now go back to this rendering tab, change this render to view node and now press shift A to add a mask. We're going to use this circular mask. And another thing is, while doing compositing, you should disable the animation nodes. That's why it's cancelling this auto rendering. So just disable for the compositing. See it, this cancelling option is gone. So now scale the mask and align this mask with this iris. Okay, then select all the points by pressing A, then press Alt S to create the feather to this mask. fine. Maybe I have to slightly adjust this handle of this mask. So also we're going to adjust the x-axis of the background. Yeah, this is fine. So basically this is it for the compositing, but you can change the color of this iris with the hue saturation node to make a different color, and you can also add small amount of this glow effect, not this filter but this glare filter, to make this energetic look. I think change this streak to fog and threshold to 0.25. See, we have slight amount of glow, and maybe I think we can adjust the color, this brightness with this RGB color. Yeah, then I have also added this lens distortion node, slight amount, just to make it more real. Okay, so another thing is you can also add a displacement to this object based on the luminance of this texture to enhance the effect, but overall this is it. And I'll also show you this same blend file in the 2.79. So this is the node tree in the Blender 2.79, and here is the sound fall off. So if I play this animation, you can see this ripple effect. So this average option in the sound fall off in Blend 2.79 is quite fast, and the compositing is done here. So you can use whatever you want. So if you like this tutorial, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more updates. So if you have any suggestion or query, you can ask me in the comment section or on my social links on Twitter or Instagram. So until next time, happy noding. Bye.